Marvel, why did you put him in timeout?
He's in timeout and he can only play Jaguar CD games.
He's so sad.
He should be.
Why? Can he play regular Jaguar at least?
No. There's no only Jaguar CD over there.
Oh, he's gonna be sad forever. Marvel, how was your day today?
It was a pretty good day. We were pretty busy.
What's today?
Got a lot of good trades. It's Monday. It was busier than all of the days of this past weekend.
He's walking away.
Yeah.
Get back over here.
We got a whole bunch over here of manga and Blu-rays, anime Blu-rays.
A lot of Persona stuff.
Just a ton of really cool stuff that we're gonna put out. A lot of like
got these.
One Piece. A lot of like Sailor Moon stuff. Some really cool ones. We got like some art books, Fire Emblem. Oh God, art book. Some really cool stuff.
I want that
Valkyria
one.
Chronicles.
That one's cool.
Brittany likes that one.
Chronicles is cool. If you haven't played it, play it. Marvel's also played
A
it.
ton of Persona mangas. Like we got the entire set of the manga set of Persona 3, 4, and 5. Pretty sick. So I'm probably going to bundle these if you want to come in for them. I'm probably going to sell them as sets. So if you want it, you got to get the whole manga set for Persona 3, 4, or 5. Just because otherwise it might be a little tough if people are just buying pieces from them here and there. Might be tough to sell the rest. But yeah, that's what we got. And then I'm probably going to sell the set of the One Piece. It's One Piece, the Blu-ray and DVD sets all the way from 1 to 33. And I'm probably going to sell that as a set as well. I haven't totally decided on a price.
They're Blu-ray?
on it yet. Yeah.
Those are cool.
Yeah. I know volume 12 especially is like, for some reason, extra expensive on it.
Probably like a fan favorite episode or something.
I think it's out of print. Yeah, I don't know why that one in particular, but probably going to sell it all as a set as well, just to make sure it all sells. But a lot of really cool stuff that we're going to work on processing. This was a big trade today, on top of the crazy trade we got last week of all the Dreamcast stuff that Brittany's been filming.
Yep.
Really, really crazy trades lately.
This is a pretty cool one. We don't have a price on it yet, but this is a development unit Nintendo 3DS console. I think the only difference is the sticker in the back, the little slider. I don't see any different ports. I think you actually need like the big unit itself in order to really like do anything with this, but still really, really cool. It's got like a cool color gradient to it as well. And then the other things we got is this really cool Minecraft periodic table, as well as a Final Fantasy II Collector's Edition. It is PAL, but it will play on US consoles. We got 2 copies, used copies of Princess Peach Showtime, and this Cobalt Nintendo DS. Alright, we got a bunch of cool trades, starting with some cool Switch stuff here. Skullgirls we don't always get. Tillier, Metal Gear, I think some of that is downloadable, so you won't get, I think, everything on the cart, if I'm not mistaken. Might have to double check that. Kirby, Marvel vs. Capcom, King of Fighters, Klonoa, Chasm, more Metal Gear, Xenoblade, Ys is really cool, Trials of Cold Steel Collector's Edition, a Greatest Hits copy of Silent Hill, NBA Street, Katamari, and the coolest Haunting Ground, as well as these uncommon Switch titles. So if you guys are looking for these, definitely come and get them quick. Keep an eye out for the posts. Alright, we got some NES games here, as well as a ton of GameCube stuff, as well as Castlevania Bloodlines. Go up here and show this GameCube stuff. Mega Man, Monkey Ball, Mario Kart, Pikmin, Melee, Animal Crossing. There's a copy of Castlevania, Dawn of Sorrow. If we move over here, we got some pretty cool cartridge games here with Punisher, Castlevania Adventure. Pure Ride's more common, but I showed you guys Bloodlines. We also got Marvel Superheroes, Street Fighter, Point Blank. We got Silent Hill, real heavy hitter here. Ghost in the Shell, Marvel vs. Capcom, X-Men vs. Street Fighter, Marvel Superheroes, Children of the Atom, this Street Racer, Japanese Sega Saturn game, Space Channel 5, Crazy Taxi, Sonic Adventure. Get it before the movie, guys. But lots of really, really cool games.
Yes.
GameStop announced recently that they're going back to retro. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I know this has been making rounds like in the retro game community since it's kind of like a hot topic. I've been doing it for quite a while. I think like a lot of us here anyway have kind of known that GameStop has been doing retro. They just never publicly announced it, and yeah, I think it's gonna fail. Just to put it bluntly, they've tried this before, like early 2010s. I think they tried this.
I think also that it's not going to go well. For one, from what people who have, this is not just me hating on it, but they're just in way over their heads on it, and they're not committing to it enough to where they need to for it to be successful. The people who have gone to these GameStop retro locations, it's mostly been like 360, PS3, with maybe a couple of other little things. But a lot of the problems is like the same that they've always had, and it matters a lot more with this retro stuff. You're gonna order, if you order it online, which a lot of people are gonna have to because there's not enough of these retro locations for people to go locally typically. And I went ahead and I tried and I ordered like a Sega Saturn game and it came loose disc. You know, it's gonna be the same old problem. They're also offering way too low on the retro stuff, which is what they historically have done, but they're just like horrendously low. Like they're offering like $10 for Pokemon Emerald, like $8 for like these Pokemon games and stuff, like $30 for Shining Force 3. It's like a $300 game on the Sega Saturn. It's just, they're not doing it the right way. And then also apparently one person, like it was a documented case recently, I saw other YouTubers talking about it, where a guy came in with like multiple copies of Earthbound, which were very clearly bootlegs, and he just made them and brought them in to trade them in, and they called up GameStop Corporate, and GameStop Corporate supposedly told them, go ahead and take them, we'll sort it out in the back end. So they're not even trying to weed out the bootlegs. There's just no way it's gonna work. They're not doing it right in any way, shape, or form. And apparently, from other videos that I've seen, people have gone into these supposedly retro-focused GameStop stores and have asked them about retro consoles and if they have these retro games. And the employees there, who you would think would be specifically trained on this stuff, had no idea what they were talking about. Like when they started bringing up retro consoles, they didn't even know anything about them. Yeah. So it's just, it's a disaster. I think it's a recipe for a disaster. I don't know.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think. I mean, I've shopped at GameStop many times, even throughout the year. I was just a regular customer looking for retro, and I specifically don't even buy cartridge-based games because a lot of them, you know, can be fake, and
they don't even check, apparently.
No. And sometimes, you know, I feel like as a retro collector, I feel like the only reason why you would be shopping at GameStop for retro games is for retro deals. Yep. Like, it's under market. But just a lot of them, when they take them in, don't even come complete, don't have manuals, whatever it may be, but they don't, it's all one price. It's not like adjusted because accordingly, you know what I mean?
Also the Saturn game that I got, it was Doom on the Saturn. The disc was all scratched to absolute hell. So
yeah, and
not good.
Yeah, so we'll see how this goes. I think we'll still, people have kind of asked us, like, what do we think? I think we're going to be totally fine.
I think they're way too late to be jumping on board. Their selection, their inventory is really, really bad. They're going to be relying on grandma, grandpa, mom, and dad who come along, cleaning up after their kid and just saying, here, take all this stuff. Because no one else is going to be trading in their retro games for the kinds of prices that GameStop is currently offering on those retro consoles. No one is going to trade in Pokemon Emerald for $10 unless it's a bootleg.
Or they just have no idea or don't care.
I think the only, like, if you're someone who can go physically, maybe you can scoop a deal, but I think that's about the only possible use case for it. Yeah. I don't know. It seems like it's going to be short-lived and it's going to be a disaster. I think this is the third time they've tried to lean into retro. Every time in the past it just hasn't gone well, and honestly this time seems like the worst attempt that they've made at it.
Really late.
I was gonna say, I think the one positive takeaway that you could say for this is, at the very least, that means if grandma comes in after cleaning up after her kids, that they won't say, oh yeah, we can like throw these away for you, because that happened a lot at one of the GameStops I went to in Texas quite frequently. Is like people would come in with NES or Super Nintendo, and they'd be like, oh well, like, we don't want this. We'll throw it away for you though.
Awful.
Or
That's going to be the worst part of this, is if they start throwing away cases again, like they used to do back in the day. That's part of why it's so hard to find any CIB cardboard games like Game Boy Advance, Super Nintendo, Nintendo 64, because almost all of them at some point passed through a GameStop, and in like, I think across the board, every situation, they just threw away every single cartridge, every single manual. I don't think they're doing that yet this time. But if they start doing that again, that's going to be the biggest tragedy that's going to come out of all of this.
Yeah,
because GameStop is one of the main reasons why finding those games, CIB, is so difficult today, because they destroyed every single copy that ever passed through their store.
Yeah.
It's awful. But
It's not good.
yeah. Hopefully they don't do that again.
I think we'll be okay.
And lastly, we got these. Very cool. New 2DS XL. Complete box. It's orange creamsicle one, Metroid Trilogy with the Steelbook, and Super Mario All-Stars with the big box. We got this really cool Sega Saturn flight stick, as well as some goodies here. 3DS console, can't ever keep those in stock. A really cool red SP, Pokemon Stadium, and some disc-based goodies up here. Goodies! Got a bunch of good DS games. Just got Rhythm Heaven, WarioWare. We've had some of these before, but very, very cool. And then we also got Mario 3-on-3 Hoops.
I got some cool stuff to show you today. But first, I got some new shoes.
New shoes.
Yeah, they're purple. I do love me some
Experience
purple.
share purple.
Yeah, I love purple. I need more. I need more shades of Converse purple shoes for me to buy. But aside from that, I did pick up some cool video game stuff. If you've been watching me or the channel or whatever for very much time, I do mention from time to time that I'm trying to collect a full Atari Jaguar set, eventually all CIB, and now also the Atari Lynx. But part of the Atari Jaguar set that I had kind of assumed I wouldn't really go for was the Atari Jaguar CD stuff, partly because it tends to be pretty darned expensive, and also partly because there just aren't really very many good games for it. I mean, there's only like a dozen games that exist for it, and only like 2 or 3 are like somewhat decent.
Also, it's hard to find a working one.
Yes, they are very hard to find a working condition Jaguar CD, but I actually did manage to pick one up. We got this for a pretty good price. I had to drive like 2 hours to go and get it though, but this is the Atari Jaguar CD, colloquially known as the toilet, as you can see why. Very appropriate name. But I got one, and I'm honestly a lot more happy about that than I expected that I would be. I do kind of love this horrible thing. And not only did I get that, but I got a few cool little items with it. One being this official Atari branded 6-button controller. These, the same person sold me this. These are goofy difficult to find. These things go for around $200 to $250. These are real hard to find, and even those third-party ones now are very difficult to find. So that was really cool to get as well. And then, as I said, now I guess I'm going for including the Atari Jaguar CD collection in with my Atari complete CIB collection. So I got a few games for the Jaguar CD. This here is actually the only Jaguar CD that I had ever played up until getting these. I still haven't plugged these in and played these yet. This game's actually not too bad. I played this over at one of our customers' house. We were having a game night, and he showed me the Atari Jaguar CD, and that was the first time I ever played it, and this was the game I played. And it's not bad. It's not amazing, but you know, it's totally playable. This is a sequel to the one game that everybody knows on the Jaguar, the
Where did you learn to
Cybermorph green head lady game. So I got that one. Also got Baldies, which is a horrible name for a game, but we got Baldies for the Jaguar CD. Oh, I don't want to show that one yet.
Baldi's Gate 3.
Yeah, Baldi's Gate 3 on the Jaguar CD. We got Hover Strike. I feel like maybe I've heard this one's okay. I don't remember for sure though. And we also got Blue Lightning. Now, the Atari Lynx version of this is supposed to be one of the better games on that console, but I've never heard that this version is good. I don't know. I need to look it up. I've barely heard that any Jaguar CD games are good.
I've heard Myst is
playable. Like, it's probably just as good as any other home version on like the Saturn or the PS1. But the big one is Primal Rage. This is an unfortunate story with this. This was an Atari first-party game at the point that this came out. So you would think this would be like the showpiece for the Atari Jaguar, but apparently it's awful. I don't know. It's just unfortunate that Atari themselves fumbled the bag on their own game on this platform that was already struggling. But this is like a $300 to $400 game these days if you get it in good shape, and this one is in very good shape. So I did not expect to ever own this or any of the Jaguar CD stuff, but hey, I do. This is the second most valuable Atari Jaguar CD game. The most valuable one is called Brain Dead 13, which again is like supposed to not even be a very good game. I don't know how the Jaguar CD version compares to the others, but that's like an animated action type game, kind of like Dragon Slayer or Space Ace. Those kind of games that were popular back then. It's supposed to not be very good. It's on the Saturn and I think the PS1 as well. It's just kind of okay. But that's the most expensive game on the Jaguar CD for some reason or another. And I don't have that one, but I do have the second most expensive one, which is pretty cool. A lot of these also come with the overlays, which is awesome. I don't know if maybe you know, maybe you don't, but these little guys go on here. Everyone always jokes about these buttons here and what were they for. Well, this is it right here. That's what they're for. You put this overlay in here. Each game can have its own custom little things, and then it tells you this is how you pull up the weapon bay, the toggle your vehicles, like, you know what I mean? This will tell you what they all do. But most of the time when you get the games, they're missing this. So most of these have it. Primal Rage doesn't, but maybe it didn't use one. I don't know. But really, really cool. Starting down my Atari Jaguar CD collection now, and I'm already like halfway finished.
What are you gonna play first?
You know what? I might play Primal Rage just out of curiosity. I want to see if it's really that bad.
All right, you'll have to give an experience share on some of these.
I'm probably the one I'll play last is Baldi's. I'll tell you that.
Poor Baldi's. We got some truly awesome stuff in. Starting off with all these 3DS games here and this very cool complete in box PlayStation Slim. But we got these guys here, some good disc games as well. Sonic Wings 2, Neo Geo, Bleach. We got Splatterhouse, a teal Game Boy Color. Coming down here, we have Uncharted Golden Abyss, Puzzle Fighters, it is sealed. Smash, WarioWare Smooth Moves, one of the best Wii games of all time. This very, very cool original Game Boy. It's like a smoke gray color. I think it's got a modded screen. We've got this sealed Metal Gear Solid Essential Collection in very, very nice shape, as well as this Pac-Man one, which is also very uncommon. It's a lot cheaper, so if you guys are looking to get one of these really cool bundles, definitely come check them out. We got a nice little selection of Game Boy games. Sega Sonic All-Stars Racing, and then we got some heavy hitters here. We got Yakuza Dead Souls, Echo Beyond Night, Factory Sealed, and Godfather Factory Sealed. So we got some exciting news, and
Yes.
Mr. Marvel would like to share.
Yeah, we do. So if you've watched our channel or followed the store for a while, you know that we went like a little store trip to PRGE last year, and we filmed it. It was a really cool, pretty long, like an hour-long video, I think, something like that. But it was awesome, really good time. And we are going to be doing that again this year. We're going to be, a smaller number of us are going this year. Some of the same people who went last year will be going again. And the big difference is that this year we are going to be running a booth at PRGE. So this will be our booth number here. And so if you're going to be in Portland for PRGE, come by, see us, say hi, and let us know that you watched the videos. And then the other difference, we're leaving a little bit early, so hopefully we'll have a little bit more time to do some sightseeing along the way, and then we'll have a little bit more time to have a leisurely trip back to maybe do a little more sightseeing on the way back as well. So hopefully we'll get to film a lot of that. We want to go see Crater Lake, I think, is one of the things we want to do. And then also just see a bunch of cool like game stores and other like little stores, cafes, restaurants, whatever, all along the way. Should be a lot of fun. And we'll probably be filming a lot of that, and gonna be a really interesting experience. This will be our very first convention to ever sell at, and I'm hoping that this will be a regular thing, not only at PRGE, but I want to start doing other conventions as well. Hopefully maybe 2 to 4 of them every year. So looking forward, PRGE coming up. As of from today is Thursday, we are leaving in exactly 1 week. Pretty cool. Yes, I'm a pro at checking my bum.
You got audio in the clip.
Look at that. Yeah.